When I was 4, there was an elevator operator in the school. At that age, I was terribly tense. To the elevator operator, I looked insane. He ridiculed me with nasty jokes. My total lack of communication worsened the situation. I could not even utter words then. Every day he made fun of me. Ridicule hurts. I was young and innocent. The ridicule hurt all the more because I could neither stop his behavior nor offer a retort. I was forlorn and hurt. Few things in life hurt more than ridicule at that tender age. I could not even tell my mom. I was mute, alone. Ever since that heart-rending episode, my interest in strangers had been dashed.
For a person with autism, the ability to accept information like attention, retention and basic memory are not affected. But higher functions like speaking, concept formation and skilled motor movements are badly affected. In a situation like this, a simple mobile phone like this is of help. With a camera phone, the child can now record this and show this to his mother or teachers.
Wasted Talent is Krishna Narayanan's first book, and he only started to write at the age of 23. The elevator episode is described on the very first page of his narrative. Imagine that a 4-year-old boy was being tortured on a daily basis in a middle-class Indian household, and it took him 20 years to tell the world, just because he could not speak. We think speech comes naturally to us. Actually, it takes us far longer to learn how to speak than to learn how to walk. Persons with autism have far greater problems with combining many muscles in order to talk properly. This is very well illustrated by Krishna right after the elevator episode in his book. A hilarious and at the same time soul-stirring example is my mom's early pathetic teaching effort. The idea was to make me say mommy and daddy when she showed me the appropriate card. She would show the mommy card and I should say mommy, but no word would come out of me. She could make me repeat after her, mommy, but when she displayed the daddy card, I would still say mommy. She would be in tears. Is her child dumb? Is he retarded? How severely is the brain damaged? Imagine her agony.
Which is the mommy card?
One day, Mom came up with the brilliant idea to make me point to the right card rather than say the word. She held both the mommy and daddy cards and asked me to point to the daddy card. Quickly, I pointed to the correct card. Mom did not believe it. She tried several permutations. Every time I pointed to the correct card because I knew them cold. Mom rejoiced and I was thrilled. The house was full of cheer. What is happening here is that it takes Krishna a long time to train his muscles to act in the correct sequence to bring out the sound mother. Quite an achievement for a child with autism. But now that is the only word he knows how to say. And whatever his mother attempts to make him speak, daddy, that is the only word that comes out. Mommy. I was only on page 4 of this fascinating book, but I had to put it aside for a while. I thought to myself that I could easily write some software that would allow a child to show a picture in response to a question like this. Let me show you the very first module of the software SKID, which I will operate using a simple game controller. We start children with this module in which you basically have to do nothing. You can just sit back and look at pictures. Right now you're looking at pictures of fruits. You have a button which you can push, and when you do that, we are now looking at colors. We've got brown and now comes blue, but let's move on. Each time the category changes, the computer also says what the category is. Right now, we've got a lion, then a bear. In this way, simply by pressing one button, a child is able to amuse herself with a wide variety of pictures and also pull up the right one. An example of such modules that we wrote is the recognize module. How about learning how to recognize vegetables? So now we have a module which allows us to recognize the big picture on the right, which is the same as one of the small pictures on the left. So in this case,
wrong. Now recognize mushrooms. Correct. Now recognize cabbage.
I can in this way get fresh problems to solve, and I can learn how to recognize vegetables. Supposing I finished learning how to recognize vegetables, now I want to learn how to recognize something else. I can easily switch back to my picture browser module, and supposing I want to recognize flowers now, I go back to my recognize module, and this time I can learn how to recognize flowers. So I have a lily on the right. I say yes.
Correct. Now recognize orchid. Correct. Now recognize dandelion.
I have to wait for the highlighted item on the left to correspond with the big picture on the right and then press the button. Other modules of SCID allow you to write using only one or two buttons, to predict what you might want to type next, to use pictures to type, and also to convert the text that has been written in this fashion into spoken speech. Now, where might this take us? Why don't we illustrate this with another episode from Wasted Talent, this time from page 22. Only now, we change the ending a little bit.
Mother is calling back. Will you play with me? Will you play with me?
I cannot speak, but I can make the computer talk for me. I would like to play with you very much.
Mental challenges such as autism impedes learning and creates misunderstandings with the environment. If the normal ways of communication, such as speech, do not work for some people, technology provides us alternative means of communication, which we need to explore if we want to stop wasting talent of so many unique, valuable individuals. Contact us to join in this effort, or if you know someone who would benefit from our work,